Hi, Sam here, and today I'm doing another video on the OCD Recovery YouTube channel in regards to the importance of a healthy life structure. Okay, now before I go further into this video, I've got a little helper today. This is Baxter. He's a little Welsh Pembrokeshire Corgi, 18 months old. There he is. He's had a busy day, so he's just rested now. But I'll talk about him later in regards to, you know, healthy life structure and dog walking, everything like that. So just hobbies and interests, etc. So, healthy life structure. Okay, how vital is it? How crucial is it when we first start on the OCD recovery journey? Okay, now when I look back on my own journey, when I first started off, I noticed so many unhealthy habits. So much procrastination, just doing nothing, just so caught up in that OCD cycle, and just my life structure was just sort of, I was just going to work, but there was nothing healthy about it. There was no proactive. I wasn't working on any recovery. I wasn't exercising, but I'll go into that later. Okay, so I just want to highlight there it's absolutely vital to have a healthy life structure and build a good life structure when working on OCD recovery. Okay, so let's list some examples of what I mean by a healthy life structure. So going to work or getting back to work, not avoiding work. Okay, so whatever your situation is, making sure you're getting back to work, and not just to benefit you financially, but it's good for a routine. Okay, it's also good for speaking to other people, and not just being stuck in that cycle where you're just so focused on yourself. It sort of opens you to the outer world and see what's going on, and focuses your mind elsewhere, not just constantly your OCD. Okay, so just getting back to work in that routine. Okay, exercising regularly, that's a crucial one. Okay, I put on a lot of weight when I was suffering bad. Wasn't exercising at all. Going for a run was the last thing I wanted to do. I just felt so shit. The last thing I want to fucking do is go and run a 5k or a 10k or just even 100 meters. That's the last thing I wanted to do. I couldn't cope with any physical discomfort because I was constantly caught up in a mental discomfort. Okay, so exercising regularly is huge for building a healthy life structure. Socialising, spending time with family and friends. Okay, not putting off going to see friends, not putting off going out for a meal, going down the pub, whatever you do with your friends. Cinema or going to a football match, anything like that, not putting off seeing them, or when you're in lockdown, not having a phone call or jumping on a Zoom call or whatever, not putting off, and just going out, being quite outgoing and socialising. Okay, not just lying in bed and eating snacks, eating crisps, eating chocolate, whatever, just cutting out of that stress eating and that comfort zone of being stuck in the suffering. You need to get out there, spending time with family and friends, and socialising. Because when I look back on my journey, I stopped seeing friends for quite a little while, or didn't stop altogether, but just not as much. Just sort of like, can't you fuck today, can't you fuck tonight, or not seeing family as much as I'd like, only for like special occasions, and not just seeing them because but I love family. I don't take it for granted at all. I love spending time with family, and that just all stopped when I was in a suffering of OCD cycle. Okay, healthy eating. All right, it's so easy. Just head to the cupboard and grab a packet of crisps. I can't even to think about tea tonight, dinner, wherever you're from, and just stick a pizza on. And I'm not saying you shouldn't ever do that again, but it's a moderation. Okay, not doing it every night just because of that stress. Quick eating. Okay, that quick, easy, lazy eating. Okay, so maybe just go and planning your meals, obviously not compulsively, but just, you know, putting a bit more effort, a bit more thought into it, because these little subtle things can help. If you're eating better, of course, it's not going to cure you, not going to recover you by eating better, but it all helps. These little things, all right, just little subtle things like that. Okay, so just another thing is just enjoying yourself. Okay, spending time on interests and hobbies. Well, you could say when you're caught up in suffering, or how the fuck can I enjoy myself? But I mean, if you've cut out all hobbies and cut out all interests, then I'm saying, you know, spend more time on your hobbies, whether you feel like shit or not. Okay, you know you enjoy that. So, for example, with me, I stopped going to football matches. I stopped reading books. I stopped watching films. I know I can't, all hobbies, just because I was so caught up. I felt so shit. I didn't want to do anything. I lost all interest in that. I lost all enthusiasm. I lost all excitement. So no matter how you're feeling, try and put some time into just, you know, doing stuff that you enjoy. Okay, spending interest in hobbies. Okay, reading books. All right, another good one for health life structure. Now, one's on the reading list in regards to OCD recovery, but just books in general, not just scrolling on your phone, looking at social media, just looking at shit. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying cut that out completely, but just in moderation. Okay, maybe spend your time more wisely, and just not just lazy scrolling, just because you know you're caught up in that. If you might be feeling chronic guilt or chronic anxiety, or just feel like shit, so you just, you know, just that quick relief, that escape, just scrolling. Okay, and you also gain knowledge from books as well, so very helpful when you're putting the stuff you're learning in a book, you put it into practice. So you're being proactive towards your recovery, and also cutting out the bad habits of not working on a healthy life structure. Okay, so I talk more about me, with a lot of avoidance. Okay, leading to an unhealthy life structure. I still went to work, so I wasn't avoiding work, but I think, we're looking back now, and that was just an escape from my OCD suffering, just to take my mind off it. But now I'm glad I still went to work. So I gave up work, then that wouldn't do me any better. I'm not going to recover from giving up work. Okay, but I went to work just to sort of stay in that routine. But when it was as soon as I opened my eyes in the morning, it was that mental battle, that rumination, that scanning in the past for a real event, false memory, just that constant chronic guilt latched up 24/7. So when I went to work, it took my mind off that. But when I finished work, I didn't then go and socialise. I didn't then go and exercise, because that was enough. That was me done. I was on a mental battlefield. So going to work was enough. Was a job in itself. It's like having two jobs. So I was having, my job was at work, and then a job with OCD. Okay, so, but yeah, that's me not avoiding work, but it wasn't like a healthy going to work. It was just to escape from my OCD. Okay, avoiding, like I said, seeing friends and family. Some family members I didn't see for years. Avoiding seeing friends. It wasn't like because the invite wasn't there. It's just I couldn't be arsed. I couldn't be bothered. I was so stuck in a rut. I couldn't be fucked to go out and, you know, do you fancy going down the pub tonight? Or do you fancy going out for a meal? Do you fancy just catching up? Just none of that. I just couldn't be bothered. I didn't make any effort. Okay, and you're soon caught up, and now I look back and fuck, I didn't see them for years. They must be thinking, what the fuck's going on with him? Okay, so just making sure you're still seeing people. And then if once you're out anyway, even myself, when I was really suffering, even when I was going out, I was still enjoying myself, still laughing, and still just getting in a good conversation. But it's just the thought of it when you're suffering. Oh fuck, no, I can't be fucked to go out. Okay, so I was caught up in a lot of that. Gave up a lot of interest in hobbies. I didn't go to sporting events, didn't go to music concerts, anything that I enjoy doing. I love going to sport. Okay, I love all sorts of sport: football, cricket, horse racing, all sorts of sports I love. But I stopped with that. No, just caught up in an OCD cycle. Didn't want to do any of that. Even if I did go, it was like, oh, I don't want to fucking be here. I just want to be, you know, just feeling sorry for myself, playing the victim at home. No, I wasn't getting out there and enjoying myself and just bringing it for the ride like I talk about. I wasn't doing that at all. I was just caught up in suffering. No, fuck, I don't want to do any of that. Okay. Lots of stress eating, quick, easy snacks. Come home from work, stick a pizza on. Can't be fucked to even think about what I'm eating. Lost all care about my weight. A good example that I provide now is on my lunch break at work, I used to just have fast food. And that was because when I wasn't at work, I was then back to my OCD. So I got to go and have a KFC, got to go and have a McDonald's, go and have a Subway. So I had to have something nice, something that tasted nice, just to keep me, you know, a bit of pleasure eating, and just pleasure and stress eating, just, you know, because I was suffering, I had to have an escape. Okay, so that's a good example that I use. Obviously not something that I'm proud of, but that is how my life structure was going. Okay, I wasn't exercising. I put on quite a lot of weight. I remember I couldn't run at all. Now, I run lots now, but I remember even doing 100 meters, or no, it might have been a 1K on a treadmill, and I was done, completely done in. And just because I didn't give a shit about how my weight was going, how my fitness was going, how my physical health was going, I just didn't give a shit. Okay. And it's easy. I'm saying it now when I look back, but of course it's easy when you're in the suffering. It's easy to just think, I'm not doing it, or you're not even thinking about it because you're so locked up. You might be so locked up on a real event, false memory. You might be so locked up on POCD. You might be so locked up on harm OCD. Okay, all these different themes. You might be completely locked up in it. You think you haven't got time to think about anything else. Okay, that's exactly how I felt. Okay, like I said, constant scrolling, procrastination. I was a sucker for that, as people say. Drinking more than I like. Adult websites more than I'd like. So there was no moderation there. Okay, it was just a quick relief, just to escape from the suffering. It wasn't healthy. Okay, not healthy at all. Okay, so that's just a few examples of what I'm like. Wow, it's up to 11 minutes already. Now if I talk about where I am now. Okay, so I'm exercising regularly, running. I love running as a hobby of mine now. I hated it 3 years ago when I was suffering. I absolutely love it now. Dog walking. Speaking about this little boy, Baxter. You don't see many corgis about, do you? But there he is. He's tired. You want to say hello? No. Shut his eyes on me. Oh dear. He's out for a nice long dog walk tomorrow, but I love dog walking. I love, seeing different bits of the countryside. Yeah, just I've turned it into a real hobby. I would have hated doing that 3 years ago because I thought, fuck that. I don't want to go for a walk. Fuck that. That's the last thing I want to do. Okay. I was just so caught up in it. But now I absolutely love it. All right. I've got a huge interest in my hobbies now. I love going to sport. If you follow me on any of my social medias, I'm at a sporting event all the time. That Nick takes the piss out of me because I'm always at a football match, a cricket match, a horse racing meeting. I absolutely love sport. I love reading books. I love music. I love music concerts. I love socialising. Okay. So it's just, I'm not just saying, oh, this is all about me. I'm just saying this is where you can get to. Okay, you can get back to a stage where you're loving life. You're loving all aspects of life. Okay, you don't have to just be caught up in that suffering all the time. This is what I'm saying here. It's not just all about me and this is my life story. It's where you can get to. Okay, I love spend lots of time with my family and friends now. I don't take anything for granted. I find it very valuable time. Okay, so quite gratitude towards these things, and that's how I'm thankful for OCD. Now I know when you're suffering, you're like, how the fuck can you be thankful for this? But when you come out on the other end, when you're doing a lot better, you look back and you see life in different ways. You have different perspectives towards life. If I didn't have OCD, there'd be so many different perspectives I'd have. I'd probably still feel quite angry. My life would just be completely different if I didn't have OCD. Okay, so to summarise that, the importance of healthy life structure is absolutely crucial. Okay, even when it feels like the last thing in the world you want to do, the last thing I want to do is go for a run, the last thing I want to do is read a book, the last thing I want to do is healthy eat, the last thing I want to do is go back to work. This is when we need to start making those changes and getting back to that healthy life structure. Okay, and also making time for recovery. Okay, not procrastinating, not putting off for tomorrow, next week, after my holiday, after this, after that, okay, because that tomorrow never comes, okay, constantly putting off. No, we need to make a start now. Having a healthy life structure is crucial towards that, okay, and of course it's not going to recover you alone. I like to meet someone who's recovered just by having a healthy life structure. I can't imagine their OCD would be very chronic if they did, but I'd like to meet them. But yeah, it is vital, and it's a good building block. It aids you towards recovery. It stands you in good stead. Okay, just these subtle little changes, okay? I really recommend just making a change, okay? Even if you feel like shit, just making a healthy change in life, okay? And I think I'll leave it there before this video gets a bit too long. It's at 15 minutes now, which is quite good. So if you have liked this video, please leave a like, that'd be much appreciated. Also leave a like for Baxter, I'm sure he'd much appreciate that. Any suggestions or feedback, please feel free to leave in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so already. Anyway, take care, have a good weekend. It's Friday here, but when you watch this, it might be another day. So have a good day, have a good week, and yeah, make some healthy changes.